What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. Of course, the first trophy up for grabs officially since January. Another El Clásico and still one to come after this. It is of course the first quest of completing the treble this season for Football Club Barcelona. It is of course going to be a very tight game that will be decided by fine margin. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 10 p.m. local time. We do have the latest kickoff time possible. This match will end at midnight the next day. Of course, if it goes to extra time and penalties, we're going into Sunday playing this game, of course, ahead of Barcelona's Champions League clash next midweek as well. One to watch out for. And this match will be taking place at the Estadio de La Cartuja, which is of course a neutral ground in Seville, and of course the country of Spain. Usually hosts the national team and other, sports, but it will be of course the Copa del Rey finalist stadium this season. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed as well. On the pitch, it will be Ricardo de Borgas, a referee we do have of course a good record with, and a very neutral one as well. And on the VAR, it will be Pablo Gonzalo Fuertes. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Real Madrid. Of course, Real Madrid, probably the second best team in the history of the sport after, of course, Football Club Barcelona. Very good team, historic team as well. Our absolute eternal rivals. Last time we did play them this season was all the way back in January in the Spanish Super Cup final, where we absolutely battered them 5-2. Should have been 5-1, could have been 7-1 if we did of course get that red card for Szczesny. You can see the lineup of this match on the right hand side. Of course, you had Casado and Gavi starting this game. That was kind of the big surprise. The rest of the team pretty standard. Of course, Olmo was coming off an injury, and Frankie de Jong still wasn't really fully fit, still a bit scared of his ankle at that time. So of course Casado got the nod, but still a very strong side from Barcelona that of course got the massive result and of course secured our first trophy of the season. Now, if you take a look at Real Madrid's last 5 matches in all competition, in their last match they beat Getafe 1-0, they beat Athletic Club 1-0, lost 2-1 to Arsenal in the second leg of the Champions League quarterfinals, beat Alaves 1-0, and lost 3-0 to Arsenal in the first leg of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Of course, 3 1-0 wins in the last 3 league games, and of course getting knocked out of the Champions League as well. But let's take a look at the last 3 games in all competition. Firstly, 2-1 loss against Arsenal. Everyone's probably watching this game thinking that, oh, Real Madrid hyping up a remontada the whole entire week. They're going to come back. They're going to do this, that, and the other. In the end, it did not happen. Very poor performance from Madrid in front of the goal. Their one goal, very fugazi as well. A big mistake by William Saliba at the back. Arsenal's 2 goals, very good. Second one was of course a counter-attack since Madrid were going all out attack. The first one by Saka, very well worked in the middle. Great slip and pass by Mikel Moreno, and a great chip finish by Saka, the chip Courtois, and score as well. Madrid in this match, of course, they're trying to go for it, trying to make a comeback happen. Had little to no shots on target. All of them just kept on crossing, and of course Saliba and Kivior had them both very covered in aerial threats. Arsenal looked really good on counter-attack as well. Madrid looked open up in space. You can of course see their lineup for this game as well. You could definitely say Alaba at left back is the weakest point. Apart from that, it is a pretty strong side from them. Of course, Carvajal out injured at right back, but India Madrid rightfully knocked out by Arsenal, and of course their treble dream and of course defending the Champions League is no longer a possibility. Next match after this game was a 1-0 win against Athletic Club. Again, another mid-performance from Madrid. I think some individual players did play better in this game. You can see in this match the lineup is much different, with of course the injury of Kylian Mbappé. We also have Camavinga dropping in at left back, and also Valverde dropping in at right back as well. Very strong team. I think we can see a very similar lineup to this one that we see here in tomorrow's final. Of course, the game very tight. Madrid on top, trying to chase it. Of course, Bilbao made a heavy full rotated squad. They were holding on for a draw. Valverde banger in the 90th minute secured them 3 points. Taking that away, you're looking at drop points here for Real Madrid. I think Vinicius had a good game, scored a goal that was offside. It was overall okay performance from Madrid, definitely better than the Arsenal game. Again, you are facing a second string Bilbao team at home, but still, despite that, wasn't comfortable for them, and they nearly got away with 3 points. And the last match of all competition, of course, was this past Wednesday. Again, Barcelona playing on Tuesday. They played on Wednesday, so maybe a little bit of extra rest for the Blaugrana side, but another 1-0 win for them away at Getafe. Of course, a little bit of a cheeky Madrid derby. A good game for Madrid in the first half. They dominated, of course. Arda Güler scored an absolute banger. Second half, bit more tight and ropey. They defended well. Getafe could have definitely gotten a draw, nicked the result, but Courtois coming in big and making some big saves. But again, another example here of fine margins. You look at the previous game, Valverde banger in the 9th minute. Here, Arda Güler banger, and I think the 20th minute to get them the win. So tight games. They're getting out of dodge. They're not performing that well. They're getting results, is basically being the better team at this point. Again, the lineup as well, a narrow approach, a 4-4-2, 4-1, 4-1-2, however you want to say it, from Ancelotti. Not that natural front three kind of style. Again, some rotation made as well. No Rudiger, no Jude Bellingham. Of course, Mbappé is injured. Valverde in the midfield. Camavinga got injured this game as well. He's out for the season. Alaba got injured in this game as well. He's out for the season. So Madrid, they made some rotation, but still not enough for them. Of course, Rodrigo rested as well. So they got rotation, which is good. They got the 3 points with man the most, but again, not very convincing. Now on the screen right now is the lineup that I believe that Carlo Ancelotti will select for this match. I think it will go with a 4-2-3-1, a very attacking team with Thibaut Courtois in goal, a back four of Fede Valverde, Raul Asensio, Rudiger, and Ferland Mendy, midfield three of Denis Ceballos, Tchouaméni, and Jude Bellingham, front three of Vinicius, Mbappé, and Rodrigo. Of course, as of right now on Friday, Kylian Mbappé and Ferland Mendy are not fully cleared by Real Madrid to play this game. I think they'll get them on those painkillers, get them on that juice, and have them fit. This is again their one big chance to win a trophy this season, so they have to go for it. They're almost recovered, so at this point I think they will be risked. I think he will of course put Valverde out right back instead of having Lucas Vázquez, which of course will leave a hole in the midfield, which I think Denis Ceballos will get the nod ahead of Modric. Of course, there's no Camavinga in this game. He's out for the season. If Camavinga was fit, I could definitely see him starting either at midfield or most likely at left back. But since he is injured, I think Mendy will start. Of course, if Mendy does not start, is not fit, we will see Ferran Garcia. Front four, of course, will be the same: Bellingham, Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. Of course, a lot of Madrid fans think they're going to go with the narrow approach with the 4-1-2-1-2 of last season, with Rodrigo being benched, a front two, Mbappe and Vinny, Bellingham in the 10, and then also dropping in Luka Modric in the midfield. That could also be an option as well, but I think he will go with this team. This is a team that he has used in every single big game this season in terms of the tactical approach, making that front three a compact midfield, and that back four definitely got out. Of course, their best midfielder dropping in at right back as well. Valverde can definitely do a job at right back, but he's much better and much more effective in the midfield. I think barring this team, maybe one or two changes, we could maybe see Vázquez start at right back, then Valverde in the midfield instead of Ceballos, or we could see Rodrigo drop out, Modric drop in for a midfield for a bit more of a 4-4-2 narrow approach from Ancelotti. So barring this 11, I think maybe one change at the absolute most, and maybe potentially could change the system a little bit. So overall, final thoughts on Real Madrid. Of course, on paper, one of the best teams in the world, historically as well. I think they probably have the best squad in the world as well. They're managed by their manager, Carlo Ancelotti, which unfortunately, it will be his last season. He is very likely to leave / be sacked after the season ends. Apparently, there are reports saying that he won't even manage in the Club World Cup in June, which is a quite quick turnaround for Madrid. But he's basically scraping now for legacy status to try and win a trophy in his final season, whether it be La Liga, Copa del Rey, or both of them. But again, he's a good manager. But I think that tactically, though, he's always had that bit of a question mark. He's more so of a good manager in terms of managing a squad and getting the best out of them. But still, a manager that can definitely get the better of Barcelona. He's already beaten Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final before as well. In that 13-14 season when they won the Copa del Rey and UCL double. So he's done it before. He can definitely do it again. In terms of players to look out for, of course, there's quite a few. I would mainly look out for two, in my opinion, which of course is Fede Valverde, who I believe has been Real Madrid's best player this season. Of course, Kylian Mbappé up front. He'll be a big question mark. Vinicius, I'm not too worried about him. Again, his finishing this season has been quite poor. He's had a pretty average 2025 as well. Not been performing great. Played well in the Bilbao game. Was poor against Arsenal. Wasn't that great against Getafe as well. So definitely can be got at. I think their defense is very, very vulnerable at the moment. Asensio, Rudiger aren't that, great. They're good players, of course, on their day, but their day hasn't really arrived too much. Their heads are down after being knocked out of the Champions League. This is kind of their only chance to get a trophy. They want to kind of get riled up and get hyped up for this game. Let's hope that it's not enough, but definitely a team that will be absolutely deadly on the counterattack, and the high line defense have to be aware of that. Now, in terms of an injury update on the first team of Barcelona, of course, Lewandowski, Balde, Casado, all out injured for this game alongside Marc Bernal. There is actually one recovery for this game. And it is the captain of the club, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. According to various reports, he will receive the medical green light later on today and will be, of course, traveling with the squad to the match. Of course, most likely will not be starting in goal, but the most important thing is that he is now medically cleared. And following this, according to reports, we are hearing Ter Stegen who could get some minutes in La Liga. Of course, Chelsea will play against Real Madrid. He'll play against Inter for sure, but in La Liga, bit of a question mark. I think this is very idiotic from Flick. As long as we have not won La Liga, Ter Stegen should not be played. If we win La Liga last 2 games, you want to put Ter Stegen out, don't have any problem with that. But if La Liga is not won, Szczesny must stay in goal, and this is the problem with Ter Stegen coming back. I did, of course, cause that headache, that dilemma for the manager. I'll wait and see what Flick says in the press conference about this. I think he'll definitely be asked on this. Again, we're waiting and still pending the final decision of Flick. I've heard reports from both ends say that, Ter Stegen is going to play a few games. Szczesny's going to play the rest of the season no matter what. If we win La Liga, maybe Ter Stegen will have some brownie minutes, but this is another problem. I think Ter Stegen should not play whatsoever unless everything is won, especially in La Liga, but wait and see on the final call from the manager. But Ter Stegen is officially back. Time now to get into the press conference reaction of Ronald Araujo. As we all know, in finals, usually in Spain, a player always accompanies a manager during the press conference. And today, Araujo, as of course the second captain of the club, was selected. So let's get to see what he had to say this afternoon in Seville ahead of the Copa del Rey final tomorrow. Start off by saying that good evening. The truth is that we're very happy about tomorrow's match. The final means a lot to us, another important final this season, and hopefully another title as well. I think it'll be a completely different game from the games that we've already played against Madrid this season. As I told you, another final, another game. We are excited about tomorrow's match. We will seek the result and the title, which is the most important thing. The truth is that the team is in very good shape and has the desire to win the match tomorrow. Then asked about the referees. If you guys don't know what happened with the referees, they had their press conference a few hours ago. De Borgas, the official referee, the main one on the pitch, started crying because his kid gets bullied at school because people think that he's scripting and not favoring Madrid, and then he started crying, so it became a whole kerfunkle. Madrid then appealed that these referees should not be the referee to the match tomorrow, and the federation said no, screw you, they're going to referee the match tomorrow. So following all this, Araujo was asked for his reaction. Look, I didn't see what happened to Madrid and the referees. We don't talk about it either. Being a referee is difficult, and you have to respect that. The team's in good shape, and that's clear. We're capable of winning everything, but we have to give it game by game, and that mentality is what got us to this point. Would I believe that someone told us we'd be fighting for the treble at this point of the season? Of course not. When we started the season, we always want to win everything, and even more so when you play for Barcelona. The fans, we must truly acknowledge the work they've done, and think that their work has been very good recently as well. And of course, we're happy with all of them because I think that we give them what they desire. We want to win tomorrow, but if we don't, we'll keep fighting because we're still fighting in the league and the Champions League final, and we're looking forward to winning as many titles as we possibly can. Also asked about potentially playing at left back in this game. He said that I haven't been told about that, but if I have to play left back, of course I am 100% ready. Bit of a fluky question that was, but that did of course conclude the press conference reaction of Ronald Araujo ahead of the Copa del Rey final against Real Madrid tomorrow. Time now to get into the press conference reaction of Hansi Flick, who of course spoke immediately after the second captain Ronald Araujo ahead of course the match tomorrow. Let's get to see what we get to say this afternoon in Sevilla. He came out saying it's a final against Real Madrid. I think the stadium is absolutely fantastic. We have to enjoy it. We have to enjoy tomorrow, and we have to enjoy the game as well. Of course, we have to give it our all. We're fighting for it. As I said before, we started the journey at the beginning of the season, and we want to fight for every title that we can. We have the chance to win 3 titles, and that's our goal. But I know, or we know, that it's difficult because we're playing against Real Madrid, and they have a great team. You have to enjoy this. We have a very young team, and it's also a great experience for them to play in a final like this and play against one of the best teams in the world. below. The final is different. It's not like the team is the favorite or that team is the favorite. For us, we have to, when we want to start, we want to start the game tomorrow and we want to fight for this title. When I see how the team trains and how they try and how focused they are, it gives me confidence. It allows me to believe in these players and see that they too see that they have the confidence to win, and I believe in them. On the referee stuff, I remember just pressure on the referees. Look, I don't know what to say. For me, it's a sport, it's a game, football, nothing more. I don't think that's right. After the game, we have to leave everything behind us. On Ferran Torres, and that Ferran has shown that he can play as a 9. I think it's a very good position for him. Lewandowski, of course, will not play tomorrow, and nothing will affect Raphinha or Lamine. Our job is to prepare the team to win, and for the fans who will be with us, the 26,000 in the stadium, to enjoy themselves. Lamine is a spectacular player. You'll be further impressed with him if you watch him in training. I appreciate Real Madrid, but we're fighting for the for 90 minutes, and of course to win the title. And finally, he was asked who will start at left back in the match tomorrow, and he said, "You'll have to wait for tomorrow to see who it is." And that included Hansi Flick's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start from the manager, of course, Hansi Flick. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. I think it will be fairly straightforward to predict. Of course, no real question marks coming into this game. I think that Flick will select this lineup on the screen right now with Wojciech Szczesny in goal, a back four of Jules Kounde, Pau Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, and Gerard Martin. Midfield three of Frankie de Jong, Pedri Gonzalez, and Dani Olmo. Front three of Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, and Raphinha. Of course, at left back, maybe we'll see Hector Fort. I highly doubt that. Maybe you can see Fermin Lopez or Gavi in the midfield, and that's pretty much it. I don't think Flick will pick a false 9 with Dani Olmo up front, maybe Gavi or Fermin in behind. I think this will 100% be the lineup for Flick, and probably is right now, on paper, our best team. I think there will be little to no changes from this team. The one change I could see is maybe Gavi starting as a midfield 4 and then maybe sacrificing Ferran Torres. But why change your system and style of play for a Copa del Rey final? Makes no sense. So to be honest, I don't see Flick selecting any other lineup but the 11 that you see on the screen right now. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Flick will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was a Barcelona coach. Not going to waste your time here. I have picked the exact same 11 as Flick. Again, there's really no changes. I would love for Gavi to start this game. No room for him. I think off the bench will be absolutely crucial as well if we're leading or if we even need to go a go-ahead goal. Help with that midfield intensity and pressure. Hector Fort, I was thinking about it, but like, you know what? He hasn't played that much. And again, that right foot at left back, I'm not super keen on that, especially in a game like this. So again, it's going to be this team. Anything but this team, I will be genuinely surprised, and I would also select the same lineup as Flick. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you agree or disagree with my lineup and Flick's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I think it will, of course, be a very tight game. I have gone with Barcelona winning this match by 3-2. Very high score line. Us conceding 2 goals. We also scored 3 goals. Look, I think this will be a very tight game. I don't see it being a thrashing like the first 2 Clásicos. I think Madrid will be much more compact, much more aware of Barcelona's style of play. I think they'll be very simple, try and control the tempo and hit Barcelona on the break, try to catch the high line out. Of course, Barcelona will have dominant possession, try and play their way. I think Madrid will get in behind a little bit, and whether or not they're clinical is what really comes down to, in my opinion. I am confident that Barcelona will win. I feel good, but of course, I feel very nervous. I put this at 51% Barcelona and 49% Real Madrid. I think it's that tight of a game. Again, Madrid have a bone to pick. They want to, of course, give their fans something after the poor performances this season, again knocked out in the Champions League. Barcelona, of course, going for the quadruple, want to give love to the fans after all these years of terrible torment. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. I am confident in the boys. I believe they will get the job done, but narrowly by a scoreline of 3-2. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the scoreline will be. So that was my match preview for Barcelona versus Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed. The first thing I want to know, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, do you agree with my lineup and Flick's lineup? Secondly, would you change anything? Think Flick will go with something else as well? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow straight for the match by my match reviews. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Huge game ahead, and let's hope this will be the second trophy of the season for Barcelona. Take care, and Forza Barca.